And play has been called as Ahsan Adil's got one slip in place. Bit of a kick off a length. First delivery. Good morning, says Ahsan Adil.
Definitely a wake-up call for the batsman. And I was just having a look at the pitch this morning, Shah, and a lot of greenery on it compared to the previous 2 days. The groundsman said that they were doing some strenuous work over the last couple of days to ensure that the pitch is able to get a bit more through bounce and that carry through to the keeper as well. So looking forward to some exciting cricket today. Hopefully the batsmen as well will be able to play their shots confidently.
It's quizzical look by the batters and the bowlers. Ahsan Adil from his follow through just went and saw where that ball landed. But that green grass that you're talking about, I think it's when they mow the outfield, that's the green grass that it's accumulated and it has been rolled into the surface to keep it together. Once again got stuck in the pitch, way short. Ahsan Adil is not happy about something, whether be is his landing, I think, clutching at his left ankle. Damp conditions all around, not a good start.
Yeah, definitely a worrying sight for the Clarion Eagles. We hope that it's nothing too serious and that he'll be able
You see this congregation of players and the umpire at that non-striker end. Fast bowlers such as Ahsan Adil really want a firm grip on the landing. These conditions are damp. Early morning starts, and although it's pretty warm today, the sun is beating down, so that moisture will evaporate hopefully and leave us dry and perfect conditions to play cricket.
Yeah, looking forward to that sun just drying out. You can see on the outskirts of the field there is still a bit of dew present and some moisture, but sun's blazing at this moment. I'm sure the batsman will be looking to blaze as well with some expansive shots as Adil is ready and set to continue.
Nicely bowled. I'm a bit comfortable with his landing, Ahsan Adil, and also good areas just on a length.
So looking at the opening pair for the Clarion Eagles, Karshit, Gomel and Mukhtar Ahmed. Note that yesterday we saw a very structured innings from the captain, Karshit. It was a low scoring game in terms of their run chase, but the pitch was a bit difficult and he certainly had to take his time and bat through the innings, came out not out to bring his team home to victory.
Yeah, Karshit played a very nice innings. It was needed, although they were chasing a small total, but it got difficult because of the conditions. And Mukhtar, his partner at the non-striker end, is a dasher. I don't know how he would react to these conditions, not suited to his game.
Yeah, I think these batsmen would just prefer the ball to be coming through with no deviations, no real turn or extra bounce. But that's what also makes the game of cricket interesting.
Absolutely does. The variables that are involved in a game of cricket, there are way too many, more than any other sport, I believe. Back of a length once again. The ball never arrived for Akarshit. Inside edge could easily have gone on to the stumps. Ahsan still not happy with his landing.
Yeah, he's just looking at that run up and you can already see a bit of darkness in that spot. The umpire is also just taking a walk and his teammate is just trying to mark out that area to ensure that he can have a smooth run up and landing. Note that this side of the pitch, this end that he's running from, is one of the smoother run-ups. On the other side of the pitch there are just some patches right before the crease, which might make it a bit difficult for the fast bowler. Probably why he opted to start from this end as well.
Goes past the outside edge. It's again not going through, but still that kick off the wicket was enough to beat Akarshit. Safely negotiated the first over, you'd have to say. 1 over done. The Eagles, 1 for none. One for none after 1 over. Ghulam Mudassir from the far end. The left arm quick. He's very impressive in this tournament so far. He's pretty quick through the air. To be seen that how does the ball react from the far end. From this end, Ehsan Adil's majority of the deliveries got stuck in the pitch. Despite his good pace, Ehsan Adil is not slow. Once again, awkward kick, chance there. The throw was wild, nowhere near the stumps. Mukhtar took one on the gloves as it's one raid off a length from Ghulam Mudassir.
Yeah, thankfully there was some good backing up in the outfield. As you said, that throw was a bit wide in terms of the direction. And we note that with this very quick outfield, the ball can easily run away to the boundary once it misses the infield. So just have to be mindful here.
Once again, back of a length. Akarshit, just short arm jab for a single. I don't know, the batter's job is also very difficult here. To think what is a good score here and then go accordingly. Generally these T20 batters, modern day batters, they only know one way to play, especially in the power play, but these conditions demand different approach.
Yeah, definitely in the modern advent of the game and T20, we are accustomed to seeing scores of 160 as an average, and even recently with the IPL, 200 has become a past score for certain teams based on the pitches and the conditions, but have to play relative to your circumstance.
It's been smashed, came off the middle but straight to the fielder. I think like we saw yesterday as well, it gets easier for the batters when they gauge the pace and bounce of the pitch, and then they can express themselves a bit better. Not the 200s that we're talking about. 130, 140 could be a very challenging total in these conditions.
Well, in fact, in the 2 rounds of games, or 2 matches, 2 match days that we have had at this field too, the highest score has been 129. So I think that's a good pass score if any team is looking to set a formidable target.
In the air over the infield. That boundary is pretty short. The straight boundary is here. And that will be the first boundary of the morning of the bat of Akarshit.
A nice looking shot there from Akarshit. Aerial indeed, but in the power play, and both fielders were within the circle, so he was given that freedom to play the shot. He didn't seem to get a connection that he would have wanted. You can just see from the replay that his top hand, or his bottom hand in fact, fell off the bat. So I think he'll be grateful for that boundary and certainly would add to his confidence in this innings.
Off the edge, it will fly. Just a 50-yard boundary by the looks of it. Flew really quickly to Shayan Jayasuriya, who did well.
I think your estimation is in fact extremely accurate, because I was having a chat with the groundskeeper this morning, and he indicated that that boundary is exactly 50 meters. So you're spot on there.
It's 50 meters and it's downhill. So see, there's something for the batters here. Like you see, the Akarshit's boundary last over, he didn't come off the sweet spot, but still he got the maximum reward for it. Dot to finish off over number 2 from Ghulam Mudassir. Eagles after 2, 9 for none.
It's going to be Ishan Adil to continue. Driven oppositely in the air, but it goes over the infield. Not sure if it'll have the legs to reach to the boundary, but good work from the fielders, and they get 2.
Sure, another wild return. Just in the middle of the pitch, neither at the keeper's end nor the bowler's end. Luckily, there was 2 people backing up.
Yeah, we have seen a couple wayward throws, and I'm sure the skipper and the keeper would want to just remind the fielders that it's not the biggest outfield, so anything that goes just marginally wide can run away for extra runs that they don't want to concede at this early stage.
Full and smashed straight down the ground. One bounce. It travelled very, very quickly off the bat of Akarshit.
Well, that shot was certainly much more confident from Akarshit, and just the sound of the bat when the ball left it, and you can see foolish length delivery, didn't really have to move his feet much, just opened his stance and played it confidently behind the head of the bowler for 4.
Really bounced off the fence and just come back into the field of play. Hassan Adil is not slow, but it travelled at double quick pace off the bat towards him. Watch out for that length on this one. Definitely pulled his length back.
Much better delivery there from Adil. He's a tall guy as well, so would explain a bit of extra bounce that he would get from the surface. As always, another factor for the batsman to take in. As you 100% correctly said before, cricket, I believe, is a sport with the most variable factors that affect the game of play, whether it's the actual bowler's run-up, the stance, the biomechanics of the individual player, the conditions around. Lots of variables to consider.
Yeah, after getting hit for that straight boundary, Hassan has pulled his length back. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, add to that the weather, the wind, sun, clouds, you know, that all adds your opponent's form, his strengths and weaknesses, and the list goes on, it may seem.
Yeah, definitely. And I always remember that the mental aspect of the game is to be not put aside, but in fact it's one of the more important factors where no matter your physical talent and abilities, you have to have that focus.
Shot. Absolutely smacked. It was short, provided with the length, and Akarshit wasn't going to spare that.
Beautiful looking shot there. Couple deliveries were pulled back of a length after the initial boundary, but this one a bit too short, and in fact just stood up in the pitch, allowing him to play that pull shot convincingly. We're worried for a moment there whether the ball might be joining us in the commentary booth.
Yeah, for a moment it looked like coming our way, just to the right of our box. Keshav probably more suited to sticking out a hand and stopping it. I'm not doing that when it comes in my direction. I'll be ducking for cover.
I think I'll follow your lead. Safety first is always the best option
Yeah,
for those of us outside of the field.
yeah, these days, these batters, they really hit it hard. I mean, the pace of the game has increased immensely in the last 10-15 years. In the air, away, and it will run away as well. A despairing dive wasn't enough to stop the boundary.
And Kruma Bonner, unfortunately, not getting his hands to that ball. And in fact, I think he just got an awkward bounce before it reached to him. Flicked a bit uppishly, and you can see that extra bounce right before it reached to him. So, fortunately, nothing he could do there.
Third boundary of the over, an expensive one from Hassan Adil. 3 done, 23 for none. Spin in action for the first time. Looks like it's going to be Umar Khan from a distance. Yeah. Left arm spin, or is it? They also have Saad bin Zafar. Generally bowls inside the power play, so it is Saad.
From the first delivery, you can already see the amount of turn on offer. Spin has certainly been the trump factor in all of the games at Field 2.
Big shout. Really, it had to pitch somewhere around that leg stump and still be able to hit the stumps with the kind of turn we've already seen. Not an easy decision for the umpire to give that.
You can just see the angle of the delivery. Seems to have been probably just drifting down that leg side. This one short outside the off stump and cut away nicely, but straight to the fielder at that cover position. So some nice early pressure in this first over from Saad. And again, this one has hit a lusty blow for 4 runs. Just stood back on that back foot and punched it over the infield for another boundary.
As a spinner, you got to be very careful with the length because it is sticking in the pitch. If you're slightly short of a length and you allow the time for the batters, they'll really punish you. And Saad bin Zafar really found that out.
So after 3 very tight deliveries, that one was a bit too short and just stood up in the pitch. Fielders are just trying to retrieve that ball as it went to the outskirts of the field. Some lovely flora around the Paramveer Sports Complex.
Yeah, and yesterday we saw Karshit spend a lot of time in the middle, and he gradually found a way to tackle the spin. And Mukhtar, the way he stood back on his back foot, he already has observed that what areas he needs to score and what method he needs to apply. Not your conventional method where the ball comes on and spinners are resorted to bowling defensive lines and lengths at times. But here, because they're getting turn, so they will be bowling different areas.
Excellent point there indeed. And as you can already see with the difference in Akarshit's innings, he has 20 from 13 today, and yesterday he started off with 1 run from about 9 deliveries and just went going steadily along. But it shows you the importance of confidence in that knock from yesterday carrying over to this game today.
Once again, shot. Saad really got a strong hand on it to prevent runs because mid-on was up in the ring. If it had gone past him, there would have been runs, probably 4.
Yeah, as we're still in the power play, only 2 fielders outside, fielder at long off and one at a wideish deep mid-wicket. Powerfully struck down to that fielder at long off just for a single, but one thing is for certain, Mukhtar Ahmed is striking that ball very cleanly. The sound of the bat is really refreshing to hear after we've seen a lot of mistimed shots and batsmen not getting the connection that they would appreciate. But at the end of 4 overs, they scored 28 without loss.
Yeah. The conditions are difficult, but the short boundaries are really helpful for the batters. We see a change of attack from this top end. Ghulam Mudassir has been given the ball, who bowled 1 over from the north end, and now he's coming back here from the Combox end. Ehsan Adil bowled 2 overs from this end. Mukhtar on strike. Slow delivery and it gripped, and Mukhtar was perplexed way too early into the shot.
First ball slower delivery, always a tricky aspect for a batsman to deal with, especially when it's a new bowler, well in fact from a different end, and you always expect that first delivery to go through with absolute pace and that fast bowler to give his maximum effort. But I like to see that bit of innovation in this T20 format of the game.
Especially if you notice Ghulam Mudassir's run-up is very, very fast, and he's got a quick arm action too. So it must be very difficult to judge that slower delivery because there's no apparent change in action.
Yeah, he does it very smoothly indeed. Just seems to roll his fingers at the last minute, and with the amount of purchase off the surface, I'm sure any off cutter or leg cutter would be an extra factor in addition to the lack of pace under the delivery.
Having seen the success of those slower deliveries, third and fine leg fielder have been brought up. Square leg has gone back. Went short, just helped it on its way brilliantly, rode the bounce. Mukhtar, he really got on top of that and just placed it. Sublime piece of timing.
Love that shot. You can just see he stood up, he waited for it, and just casually opened the face of the bat. Look at it again. Didn't really move. In fact, he just jumped and ended up in that position to guide that ball over the infield. Lovely quick thinking on his feet from the batsman. Mukhtar Ahmed is certainly looking very confident. 12 from 14, but striking the ball cleanly.
Once again goes back to the pace off. Ghulam Mudassir, pace on. Mukhtar has really enjoyed that. It's a good comeback from Mudassir.
Yeah, I think he realizes that pace off should be his go-to at this stage. Anything with pace on, as they say, the quicker the ball reaches to the batsman is also the quicker it can go to the boundary. And he struck him on the pad, and some appeals from a couple of the fielders, but everyone didn't go up in unison, and umpire didn't seem to be interested, and in fact it goes away for 4.
There was a very, very prompt shake of the head from the umpire. The runs are coming at good rate. The boundaries are coming. We had 1 in the last over, 2 in this over already. I don't think the Clarion Eagles wouldn't mind that. This is a Group C clash for the top honours in this group. Team that wins will finish top of the group.
And that's a solid delivery. I see a bit of frustration from the bowler. I wonder what that reaction was about.
He's a fierce competitor, Ghulam Mudassir. He didn't like, no bowler likes to go for runs. He didn't as well. 5 done, the Eagles 36 for none. Power play. Saad bin Zafar has got a packed offside field.
That delivery just angling into his pads. Rushed onto him quicker than usual.
Akarshid also just preferring to stay on that back foot. Saad bin Zafar just pushing it through, not allowing him that time to adjust.
Yes, we see the contrast. The pacers are using slower balls, and the spinners are in fact bowling some quicker deliveries.
Just a single, another very solid blow.
I was just looking at that ball running along the carpet and seeing the dew just raising in the air. So to tell you, even though the sun is beating down, conditions are still very interesting here.
Good effort in the field, really good effort. That was struck very, very firmly. Once again, Mukhtar off the back foot. Smashed, but just couldn't pierce the field.
Well, he's getting a lot of solid connections with the balls that he's hitting, but sometimes going straight to the fielder, which I'm sure he wouldn't like as well. Just needs to find a gap.
Shots of catch it. Fielder is lining it up, and he has done a brilliant job. A magnificent catch in the deep.
Wonderful fielding effort there. That ball seemed as if it might have just been going over the boundary rope, but great alertness from the fielder at the long off boundary. And you can see when he took the catch, he was mindful of where the rope was, and just at that moment caught it with 2 hands, and while in the air just landed on 1 foot, threw it back into the field of play, ensured that both his feet were planted on the ground, and he took it comfortably in the end. So excellent fielding attempt there. And just as we were saying, the frustration might have been there for Mukhtar Ahmed after hitting the ball very cleanly, but hitting it straight to fielders. Maybe he just tried to be a bit too rash with that one, and unfortunately his head went a bit uppishly when he played the shot, which led to the ball being skied and the catch being taken.
Yeah, a couple of solid blows, and it went straight to the fielder, or good fielding effort. Put the pressure on him. Umar Khan was with the catch. Have a look at him go. Just lined it up beautifully. Excellent judgment here, and then great awareness to go with the agility and athleticism. Completed the catch and got rid of the dangerous Mukhtar.
So the first breakthrough for the Kingsmen X. Clarion Eagles 37 for 1, and just 1 delivery left in the 6th over to finish the power play. New batsman in, Saif Badar.
Another very powerful striker. And him and Akarshit had little hiccups with the runnings last night, and they're together again.
Well, yesterday we know that his stay at the crease was just for a couple overs, but you saw the hesitancy between the pair, so let's hope that it doesn't transfer over into this game.
Power play done, 37 for 1.
So we're going to see a new bowler into the attack. It's going to be Akhtar Shah. Just judging from where the keeper is standing, assume that he's going to be generating some pace.
Akhtar Shah really bowled quick yesterday. Wicketkeeper was standing back for him. He had a long run up as well. All these fast bowlers who bowled from this end, Ghulam Mudassir, Ehsan Adil, and now Akhtar Shah. Probably Akhtar Shah has got the shortest of the run up. Still almost up to the 30-yard circle. More hiccups with the running. We expected that. Yes, no, yes, no. Lucky on that occasion, there was no sorry involved.
Definitely. And they would be most grateful that the throw was wide of the stumps. In fact, when the fielder threw, he was just in line with the stumps, and we can see the fielder who was backing up, in fact, has to do some stretching there. Ghulam, I think he got a awkward impact. We hope that he's all right.
As they call it, he got hit on the unmentionables. He wasn't even bowling or batting. He was just backing up.
This cricket is a dangerous sport, isn't it, Shah? A very precious area. And it's great to see him still standing on his feet. We know sometimes those injuries can have you down and out for a few minutes.
But you know, the incredible thing is, every time this happens on a cricket field, other than the person who get hit, everyone else is laughing. And pretty much whoever plays cricket, they've all gone through there at some stage, but still, they don't realize the pain. They see the funny side.
Lovely pace on that delivery. Excellent carry through to the keeper, taking that on our wrong head height. I think that's probably one of the quickest deliveries I've seen, not just for the morning, but in fact over the 3 days of play.
Yeah. Have a look at Akhtar Shah. He's big and strong and tall, big shoulders. Like I said, his run-up is not as long as Ehsan Adil's or Ghulam Mudassir's, but still, he gets the ball through at a good pace. And it's also a sign that with all this sun baking down, pitch has started to dry up, and I think both batters and bowlers will enjoy that if the ball carries through. Well, take that. In the arc, and it has been walloped a long, long way back. In fact, into the middle of the other pitch.
Well, after 3 very pacey, goodish length deliveries, this one was too full. And given the nature of the pitch, we have seen that the batsmen are able to play through the line. And just there, clearing that front leg. And a lusty blow for 6 into field 1. We hope that we didn't disrupt any of the match going on there.
Well, I feel like the ball is travelling this morning. Atlanta Fire are on fire on the adjacent field. Once again, carrying through very nicely. Backing up was Akarshit, looking to use the pace on that occasion. No square protection in the deep for Akhtar, but he missed out on that.
And I can see the umpire just given a single. 1 for the over. Umpire Owen Brown, hailing originally from Jamaica and based in Texas. And to mention the square leg umpire as well, Mr. Everton Brooks, also from Jamaica and based in New York.
Yeah, he's not going to bowl anything up to the bat now. It's a no ball though. Well. I think what are the fielders trying to tell the umpire?
So the square leg umpire is signaling that it was above shoulder height. The fielders are trying to argue that where the batsman played the shot, the ball seemed to have been just below. However, all of the argument after the fact is irrelevant because the umpire has already signaled, and he in fact is just ushering the players away from the square while reminding them that it's a free hit. I'd like to take a look at that one again to see where the ball actually landed.
Yeah, the batter got up on his tiptoes. Saf Badr is quite tall, but Akarshit was the striker on the previous delivery. Saf Badr will have a free hit to go. Field can be changed because the batters have changed strikes. Shayan Jayasuriya has pushed back to deep mid-wicket. So we got a long on mid-wicket and a square leg on the onside. Mixed bag of an over from Akhtar Shah. Swing and a miss.
Lovely delivery there, especially on a free hit to get a dot ball. And it just goes to show you the pace of Akhtar Shah. A very smooth run up. Doesn't seem to run too quickly to the crease, but that momentum and the power through his legs allows him to get that extra pace of the delivery. At the end of 7 overs, 45 for 1, the Clarion Eagles. So looks like it's going to be a change in bowling from the other end as well. Note that since the power play is completed, you can have up to 5 fielders outside of the circle. Or is it Saad Bin to continue?
It's Omar Khan, Keshav.
Umar Khan.
Travelled really quickly to that sweeper and came back quickly as well. Hurried Akarshit into that run.
So the two left-arm orthodox bowlers from the same end, Saad Bin with number 4 and Umar Khan with number 41. So I was just wondering for a second there, but it is in fact Umar Khan.
That's gone. Or is it? Not quite. Once again, taken in the deep. It's Ghulam Mudassir with the catch. And Umar Khan has broken through. Akarshit, or is it Saf Badr, walks back.
Excellent wicket there. And batsman doesn't seem pleased with himself. The ball was right in the slot. And especially as a batsman who prides himself on hitting the ball a long way, he hit it straight to the fielder. Didn't really have to move, just a step to his right and took it at a comfortable height just around that waist area. Good catch in the end as well, because we know that Ghulam was feeling long on in the previous over, ran down to long off, so it seems as if he's been given the catching duties in this team.
A timely wicket there for the Kingsman X. The partnership was building. Saf Badr has been taken care of. Plenty of batting there for the Eagles. They've got a long batting lineup. The likes of Erasmus, Harmeet, Mohsin, Calvin Salvage, they all can bat. Jesse Singh in Wheel the Willow. Not in this particular order, but yeah, they got plenty of depth. It looks like, is it a strange call? Is it Mohsin? Looks like him. Trying to take care of the left arm spinners. A good matchup against the left arm orthodox.
Yes, it's a Interesting decision indeed. You know that in T20 we have seen a lot of variations in the order where batsmen can float depending on the circumstances in the game. Previously, mainly right-handed batsmen were at the crease, and with a left-arm orthodox in operation, no harm in trying a left-handed batsman, see if he can take advantage of anything on offer.
Using the pace nicely was Mohsin to get himself off the mark.
Just gently guiding that one to the offside. And Akarashid, 29 from 23. He will have to play the captain's knock here. Ideally, if he can bat through the entirety of the innings as he's already set, I'm sure they can get up to a very formidable total.
In the air, oh, close to Umar Khan, not close enough.
I wonder if that delivery just held up in the pitch a bit, because he seemed to go through with the shot. Uppishly in the end, but safe.
We've seen less and less of that in the last 20 minutes or so. The ball has been coming on a bit better as opposed to when we started. Reverse, connected it, way on top of the dugout. And this is one from Muhammad Mohsin.
I must say that's a really exquisite looking shot. Just a second delivery that he has faced, and despite being a left-handed batsman, using the reverse and taking advantage of that angle. Excellent shot there for 6 from Mohsin.
Yeah, he's a tall man with long reach, but it was premeditated. Was able, the length allowed him to take his hands way out in front to make that kind of connection.
Just dabbed into the offside and a quick single. We can already see much better communication between this pair than any of the others thus far. And that single completes the 8th over, 55 for the loss of 2.
Good to see the batters batting with some bit of freedom. Akhtar Shah. And now he's got Mohsin. I think Mohsin has been sent with the license.
It's clearly evident from the 3 deliveries that he's already faced. And just to touch on that reverse sweep we saw in the previous over, I know that you are a very experienced batsman. Would you have played that shot back in your day, or was it not invented?
Yeah, we used to play it in the nets, but it was not encouraged as a good match shot. I mean, and if you get out playing that kind of shot back in the day, you'd have to hear, the earful from the coach. So you just stick to the net practice and never try it in a match. Helped it on its way, Mohsin. Good grab, the one-handed grab. Nice bounce there for the fielder.
Yeah, very confident indeed. Seemed to work in his favor there, but as you rightly said, I recall that traditionally, if you would play any of those innovative shots to describe them, coaches would immediately give you a stern look and have a chat with the team after practice, and sometimes you might even be at risk of getting dropped just for one shot that is not of the usual technique. And now look how cricket has changed. You see them almost every over.
Low full toss. Bonner will give the chase. Will they take a chance on his arm? They do and get away with it.
Was a good throw from Bonner, in fact. Came around quickly to his right, picked up and sent it close to the stumps, but I think he just had his arms outstretched as if to say, why was the bowler not there to pick it up? The batsman cleanly home in the end.
Yeah, he did have to cover a lot of ground to his right, so probably well judged by the batter. No fault of anyone else. He just was in the middle of the gap. Was it wide? Yeah, too wide. Umpire reckons it was wide. Once again, good pace, but Akhtar Shah has been erratic in this little spell.
Yes, the pace has certainly been his main trump factor, but the consistency of the line and length has not been too prevalent.
Scintillating form in the adjacent field is Stephen Taylor. Fresh from a national duty and also a bit of a rehabilitation from his injury. This one is in the air, diving forward and gets it. What a good catch. And Akhtar Shah celebrates. Akarshit's knock has come to an end.
Very passionate celebration there. Catch taken by Umar Khan, is it?
Once
Diving
again.
low, forward. And again, that short delivery. Tried to pull it, but I think the pace, in fact, got the better of him. Rushed onto the batsman. And a very good diving catch. Low, forward, and complete from Umar Khan.
He got onto him a bit too quick. Karshit was late on it. Umar Khan was not. And that is a wonderful take. Wickets continue to tumble, once again derailing the momentum of Clarion Eagles. Akarshit, the latest casualty. They are 59 for 3 now.
You also notice after that wicket a very, very passionate celebration from Akhtar Shah. I think given the effort he has put in, he deserves the wicket. Apart from the inconsistency with the line and leg, the deliveries that has beaten the batsman have all been gems. And we saw 3 shouts of "come on" directly at the batsman while he was walking off the field.
Yeah, like I said, he was a bit erratic. Definitely he needed that wicket to boost up his confidence. Rasmus in the middle, the Namibian skipper.
We saw he also had a bit of a time in the middle yesterday in that run chase for the Clarion Eagles. Was looking good and got bowled by a delivery that turned square, in fairness to him. Pitch outside off and in fact clipped the leg stump, but very competent player is Erasmus.
You have to see the approach of Mohsin as well. Does it change after the fall of wicket, or is he just going to continue in his merry way? Probably the role that he was given to him. Rasmus prepared to have a look in. First delivery, lets it go.
In fairness, I think that's a wise decision, especially given the speed at which Shah is bowling. No need to rush into any shots yet.
He's a prolific player, Erasmus, so I'm pretty sure he's been in these situations many a times before. Playing it late, gets his inning going with the run, and that will take us to the close of over number 9. It's 60 for 3 for Eagles. Well, Umar Khan's confidence must be pretty high. 1 wicket, 2 catches. He's got Erasmus in his sights, and his captain has given him a slip.
And he tries the reverse sweep, first delivery up, but not successful.
If he connects one, it's going to come and land on our com box. The angle is such. Strengthen the offside field. There's a backward point in now.
A bit of hesitancy. Just looking to get off the mark quickly. Erasmus already has one, but just wants to continue rotating that strike.
Oh, shorter, but it got stuck in the pitch. You've seen some big hits in this innings from the Clarion Eagles, but you'd feel that the scoreboard is not showing the kind of intent they've had. The result is just 60 runs coming up to the halfway stage.
Just punch into the gap on the offside for a comfortable single from Erasmus. Note that he is a Namibian skipper, also played for Namibia under 19s, played for the Gulf Giants, Toronto Nationals and the Montreal Tigers. Thus far has 65 T20 matches, high score for 100 and a very healthy average of 32.4. Strike rate usually around 124.
And there was shots to catch it, but it was away from the fielder. That was required. Mohsin is going great guns, but the innings has stalled with the fall of a couple of wickets. And Mohsin kind of breaks the shackles here.
And that one traveled like a bullet. Hit it straight and hard. Didn't really get much elevation off the ground. So yes, it was in the air for a bit, but safe indeed. And when it's nice, you do it twice. Almost an identical replica of the same shot from the previous delivery. And a bit too full from Umar Khan, right into the slot for Mohsin. And no better sight than a straight back drive.
It was too full. You called it correctly, Keshav, and it went straight back. Safest place in the ground to hit. It's right into the side screen. And those boundaries have really propelled the Eagles to 69 for 3 at the halfway stage. Mohsin, he will take up the attack. He's just medium, plenty of good variations. He was in the wars yesterday, got smacked twice when the batters hit back at him off his own bowling. Short and wide, Erasmus come down hard on it, and it went very, very quickly to that part of the ground. Good start to the over for the Eagles.
Yeah, welcome first delivery for Erasmus to face from the new bowler Mohsin. Short, wide and put away rightfully so. Cut nicely into that gap between the fielder at cover and that square position. Point is just a bit straighter than a traditional point, but there is a deep third man as well.
Slow delivery. Advancing was Erasmus. Good variation. That's his strength, Hassan Mohsin.
Intelligent batting there from Erasmus as well. We saw yesterday that he likes to use his feet. Doesn't really chip down the wicket as the traditional saying would be, but in fact he just gently walks down the wicket, takes a couple strides and tries to maintain his balance, which is very important.
I just fear it's all or nothing for Mohsin from here against the pace of Hassan Mohsin. Oh, got lucky. It really went in the air but fallen in no man's land.
He's living a charmed life here, is Mohsin. Everything he does seems to be going in his favor. Couple nice boundaries that he's struck thus far, and anything in the air has already landed safely.
Oh, once again it's in the air. Chance at the non-striker end. No. Direct hit would have been very, very close. Rasmus is quick, but he'll still be struggling.
Yeah, that delivery just seemed to surprise the batsman a bit. Popped up in the air, but again, no fielder close by within the square to be able to reach to that catch. So, two fortunate incidents there for Erasmus and Mohsin. Thankfully, no wicket has fallen from either.
Smashed away. It was right in the slot for Mohsin, and he was waiting for that length. Another boundary to finish off the over. Another good one for the Eagles. 11 done, 80 for 3. Free to go still.
So you can see the difference in the previous two deliveries. That got a bit of extra bounce onto the batsman. That one just stayed at a very comfortable height for Mohsin, swatted away on the leg side for 4. And again this time, it's cut away, and he hit it so hard, I think that it just seemed to have gone through the hands of Umer Khan on the boundary in that cover region. Not sure if he may have overran it as well, but it seemed as if it was going straight to him, Shah.
But it was hit very, very hard. It travelled very quickly to Umar Khan. And look at him. That slide, he was just a tad late on it. And it ricocheted off his hands. Had no second line of defence. Mohsin didn't enjoy that. Well, Hassan Mohsin didn't. Muhammad Mohsin did. It's an expensive over. And now it's 11 gone, 84 for 3. Last 2 overs have been very, very profitable here for the Clarion Eagles. $15 came of Hassan Mohsin's over, and prior to that, 9 came off of Omar Khan's over. So it's 24 of the last 2. Now Shayan Jayasuriya has been given the ball, the experienced man from Sri Lanka. He's gone very, very high. 2 fielders. Is there some communication? Oh. In the end, the right call was made. It was the catch for the fielder coming in from long on, Saad bin Zafar. But the catch was shelled as he hit the ground. The ball popped out of his hands.
And you're seeing a very intense stare from the other fielder who seemed to have been going for the catch. You see the fielder from that short cover was running around, and the fielder from long off was running up, and both of them reached close enough to Jinder Singh. Not in agreement with what took place there, and to just rub salt in the wound, the next delivery goes for 6.
How often does that happen? A drop catch followed by a 6. And Shan Jayasuriya will be pulling his hair out because he created an opportunity. It wasn't taken. And then the next delivery, he was deposited over the fence for a 6. And now this inning is really gathering momentum.
Lusty blow there from Erasmus. Certainly a very clean strike off the ball. 15 from 11. Mohsin 27 from 11. So these two batters certainly have been given the license to go after the bowling. And that's much better from Jayasuriya. Good length, and it's skidded below the bat of Erasmus.
A very round arm is Jayasuriya. Once again, under the bat of Erasmus. He was on his knees, but couldn't cope. The trajectory has gone lower, and the arm has gone lower from Jayasuriya.
I think he's found his sweet spot. A bit too wide on that occasion.
Yeah, that trajectory will take Erasmus a few deliveries to get used to. He goes for the reverse, connects it very nicely, preempting the line that Jayasuriya was bowling. And the runs continue to flow here at the Paramveer Cricket Complex.
Well, again, innovation shown from Erasmus, realizing that Jayasuriya wants to maintain that line outside of the off stump and goes into that reverse sweep, plays it very competently indeed for another 4. Score goes on to 96 for 3 at the end of 12.
Wow, it travelled very, very quickly to that short boundary. Bonner was really scurrying. Tajinder Singh has decided to take matters into his own hand. Last 3 overs has gone for plenty.
Yeah, the captain, especially after the disappointment he experienced in that over with the drop catch from Jayasuriya, probably just thinks that it's time for him to come and see if he can change the state of affairs in this game.
Fetch that. There's no point chasing those because it's landed about 20 yards over the fence. Came right out the middle of the bat, and Erasmus has really started to take a liking to this Kingsman X bowling.
But for a right-hand off-spin bowler, flighting the ball into the arc of Erasmus, he backed away as well to give himself more room, and that really was a shot right in the hitting slot and easily deposited for 6.
And again, just a straight chip it may seem, but it carried a long, long way. Erasmus has started to really blossom, and this is turning out to be an exceptional innings from him.
Well, just showing that he has shots for all sides of the park. This time backing away in the same fashion and hitting it a bit straighter.
Back-to-back 6s from Erasmus. Tejinder is just floating the ball without much on the ball and putting it on the spot for Erasmus. A very short and tempting boundary here.
Yeah, I would think he might have been better off bowling from the opposite end, where he had the longer boundaries to play with.
Wow, this is an exceptional stroke. He waited for it and then carved it away off the back foot. There was a sweeper. It went straight in his direction, but he took him on and cleared him with ease.
And the sweeper, in fact, leaped into the air with arms outstretched, and even that wasn't enough to get close to the ball. You can see there, a high jump indeed. He's a tall guy as well, is Osama Bal.
And a bit of an anti-climax there. Tejinder Singh will be happy to see the back of Erasmus for the time being because he's at the non-striker end. Although his job doesn't get easy because Mohsin, having seen so many big hits, He wasn't going to be tamed or tempted anymore.
He's come back nicely to Jinder Singh. No bowler likes to be struck for 1 6 far less for 3 consecutive sixes. And I think he might be looking to probably change the bowler on that end, depending on if Erasmus is still on strike when they return to that side of the field. At the end of 13 overs, 118 for the loss of 3.
Make it from the last 4 overs. It's really changed the complexion of this innings. It's still 7 overs to go. Plenty of batting in the shed. This is looking very, very good now for the Eagles.
At this state, run rate of just over 9 per over. If they can maintain this, get up to a total of around 180, sure, it would be definitely challenging for any team chasing.
Kingsman X has also got a very strong batting lineup, and the conditions, as we've seen, there's a marked improvement with short boundaries. Ehsan Adil from the top end. Come back in with a great Yorker just outside of the off-stump line, but the length was spot on.
I think any fast bowler's dream would be to repeat 6 deliveries just like that, where they can ensure that the batsman has no opportunity to score easily off of them.
That's where the strength and depth of Kingsman X will come to the fore. They've taken a beating in the last 4 overs. They have enough quality and class to make a comeback. Ehsan Adil with his very long run-up, almost from the edge of the 30-yard circle. Got the pad. Bonner will get there. It's a very risky ploy to have a fine leg up on a short boundary and bowl that line. But what he's trying to do is just to cramp Erasmus and not give him any room outside the off stump.
Yeah, he has seen the capabilities of Erasmus. Very strong player. And what I like about Erasmus, apart from the unconventional reverse sweeps and paddle scoops and so on, he plays proper cricket in strokes when he hits the ball all the parts of the field. Previous over, those 3 sixes were 3 excellent shots. First one just wide-ish of long on. The second one a bit straighter. And the third one a magnificent square drive for 6.
Right-handed Erasmus. Once again, fielder at third and final legger both up in the ring. Ehsan will have to be spot on with his lines and lengths. Looking to get underneath it. Bonner, he decided to just hold on to the ball. Erasmus read the plot. He expected the Yorker. He just couldn't get under it enough.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be fully into the game as Erasmus. Almost predicting what the bowler might bowl and premeditating his shot to suit. Still gets a single in the end, so continues to keep the scoreboard ticking over. Reaching to 120 for 3. As we noted, the top 2 scores in this field for the last 2 days of matches was 129. So definitely we're going to have a new high score here, given the improvement in the batting conditions.
Another Yorker. Mohsin was looking to squeeze it away from the fielder. Good work in the field. It's turning out to be a real good contest now.
Definitely it's getting more exciting as we reach to the latter stages of the first innings from the Clarion Eagles. 7 wickets still in the hut, and after this over is completed, 6 to go, so by all means they can look to accelerate the run scoring and take a bit more risk if they choose to.
Once again, immaculate length there from Ehsan Adil. not allowing any of the batters who are looking for big hits to get underneath, not giving them any length.
Adil is bowling really well to pull back the scoring after that previous over from his captain Tajinder Singh, which was a bit too expensive. 21 coming off of that over, and this over just 4 from 5 deliveries, so did really well to pull it back. Here is Hassan Adil.
Oh, shot and wide. Mohsin gets full use of it, and a brilliant over was spoiled by that last delivery from Hassan Adil. 10 of the over.
After he was so consistent with his line and leg for the over, you can see that Mohsin just backed away, gave himself room. And in fairness to Adil, in retrospect, it may not have been that wide, but again, due to the batsman using his intuition, backing away, putting that ball to the boundary. 128 for 3 at the end of 14.
.69 of 32 deliveries. Mohammad Mohsin 36 of just 17, and Erasmus 40 of 20. The strike rates for both these batters up above 200, striking at 2 runs per ball or more. Hassan Mohsin, interesting call. Tajinder Singh has really struggled to find an able bowler from this combox end, because runs has leaked from this end. Off the edge, straight up and gone. Hassan Mohsin responds to the call of the skipper, gives him a high five, and that is a huge wicket. Erasmus walks back.
It actually seems to have been an intentional plan from both Singh and Mohsin. Ran straight to the skipper, pointing to him. It's always good to see that, isn't it, Shah? When all of the players are on the same page and working together, strategizing. Erasmus again backing away, and he took pace off of that delivery. It was quite evident, getting the out edge of the bat and going for a very comfortable catch. In fact, before the start of the over, you saw the players conversing. About 3 to 5 of them were just in a short circle. It's really an important breakthrough for the Kingsmen X at this stage.
Yeah, the partnership needed to be broken, and you saw in that replay he went straight to his skipper, and it's very, very nice when the plan does work out. Like I said, the onslaught was intense from the two batters. Now they've separated him. Dilpreet Singh is the new man in.
Hassan Mohsin, the bowler, will still have to be wary of when he bowls the Mohammad Mohsin. He's on 36 from 17. The left-hander has been hitting the ball very, very clean, playing some exquisite strokes. Mixture of the reverse and paddles with classic drives. So all the shots on display as Dilpreet Singh enters the crease.
Happy to give away the single. Projected score at this stage would read at 180, and I think Eagles will be pretty satisfied with that kind of total, or probably they'll aim for a few more, but at least 180 they should be targeting.
Yeah, I think that 180 would certainly be an excellent first innings score for them. Of course, bearing in mind the batting competency of the opposition. And try to heave that over the leg side, but Got the bottom edge of the bat on a single. At this stage, really and truly, if they can just keep trying to get a run, a ball, rotate the strike, and put away the bad balls for a boundary, that will get them to 9 runs or over quite easily. It's not every over that you would expect 21 to be scored, as in that one from Erasmus, which actually took them back up to this present scoring rate, because previously they were just on or around 7.
Mohsin once again foxing him. He's very quick. He nearly beat Mohsin in the race. But I think that kick wasn't accurate enough. But I think that would have also given chance for Mohammad Mohsin to get in. It'll be an interesting replay if we're able to see it.
He also tried a bit of neat footwork there, channeling his inner football or soccer skills.
Have a look. Hassan clearly was ahead of Mohammad Mohsin, but yeah, he was a fair distance away from the stumps, almost 5-6 yards out. Trying to hide that ball outside the off stump from the hitting arc of Mohsin, concedes a wide. Very confusing. Mohammad Mohsin is the batter and Hassan Mohsin is the bowler.
Any chances there, any relation of the two?
No, they hail from completely the opposite sides of the country. North of Pakistan, Mohammad Mohsin, and down south is Hassan Mohsin. Straight to Bona.
In that case, we can say a distant relative.
Yeah, they cannot be different in persona and character as well. Hassan Mohsin played for Pakistan under-19s at the 2016 World Cup in Bangladesh. You look at him closely, you won't feel that he's been around for so long. He still looks baby-faced.
Well, I was just going to ask you, Shah, if that was in the most recent under-19 World Cup, because he looks to be just over 20.
Yeah, that was the World Cup where West Indies won. Chevron Hitmeyer was there. Shamar Springer, who plays a lot of cricket here, he was part of that team, that famous dancing group. The celebrations that those young kids had, really enjoyed watching them.
Yeah, that was an excellent team back in the day. I believe Nicholas Puran was also in that squad.
Elzari Joseph.
Yep. Lots of youngsters who have made it to the senior level. And I'm sure similarly for the USA and for all of the other countries on display here, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, we have seen a lot of young talent who have represented their countries at either the under-15 or under-19 stage. And what are your thoughts, Shah, in terms of a youngster reaching to under-19, knowing that it's really tough to break into the senior team, but to motivate himself to reach to that senior stage?
Ghulam Mudassir into the attack. Yeah, I mean the under-19 or representing the national team at the under-19 level is the first target that you achieve if you're aiming to become or represent your country when you start playing proper cricket. I mean, everyone starts out of passion. When they go through the pathways, they realize what is the first achievement, and the first major achievement is that. But after that, things doesn't get easy, because then the field open up for you. You come out of the age group, and the competition gets so vast, and you have to compete with experienced players. So you've seen a lot of dropouts there also from that phase, but the ones that are really determined, they really get through, and they relish the opportunity of challenging a lot of elder and experienced players.
Yeah, that's definitely spot on, because many times you have seen players be forgotten after that under-19 stage. It just takes a bit of extra strength to push through. And speaking of extra strength, I'm sure Dilpreet Singh would have wanted to apply some to that delivery. See if he could have placed it just a bit wide off that fielder out there.
Yeah, like we discussed earlier, Ghulam Mudassir, he runs in very quick. His run-up is very, very smooth and quick. And then he's got a quick arm action. So to differentiate between his quick deliveries and slow deliveries must be very difficult for the batters. And at this stage, he's unleashing quick Yorkers and slow deliveries. That was another attempted Yorker which went wrong. Have to wait on the signal from the umpire. It's just the boundary. It could even have been worse because it was pretty high, but probably still below that belt height.
Well, Mohammad Mohsin was staring intently at the umpire, waiting for a signal. And from the replay, it looks to be a very close call indeed. And granted, the umpire has the best view and angle, and his decision ultimately stands. So, possibly giving the bowler the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, from our position, we are just wide of fine leg, just behind square. It seemed pretty high, although Mohsin is very tall. A slow delivery with on offers, flayed away. Mohammad Mohsin is really putting the foot down the paddle now.
What an exquisite shot. Caught in the air, upishly, but not a person moved. Just waited on that delivery as well. In fact, it held up in the pit, so even better is the fact that he waited patiently and timed it, because if he played too early there, could have miscued and probably skied that one for a possible opportunity.
Oh, surely this will be signalled as no ball and a boundary. Well, he got away with one earlier in the over, not to be now.
Yeah, Cardinals in there. A no ball, going for a boundary, and also giving the batsman an opportunity for a free hit. This one badly lined as well. Not that any no ball is a good delivery, but doesn't help that it was on the leg side, and Mohsin did well to get a bat on it because the ball seemed to rush onto him. And just a fine tickle, sped pass, and Krumabana at short fine leg for 4. Free hit now being signaled. Umpires just making sure that all the fielders are in the same position, as the batsman did not switch ends. And he tries to heave that one into the leg side, but better delivery from Ghulam. And doesn't get a connection he would like, Mohsin. So just a single in the end, but it brings the 16th over to completion. And the score for the Clarion Eagles at the end of it, 151 for the loss of 4.
We're behind everyone else, but 18. .52 of 24. He started with the ball yesterday. Was the player of the match. He's swinging brutally. Really has thrown caution to the wind, Mohammad Mohsin. He's got some luck going his way, but in between he's played some exquisite strokes.
Yeah, really an excellent innings from Mohammad Mohsin. From the first ball that he came out, I remember, Shah, that we noted he got the license because he played aggressively from the first few deliveries that he faced, and has carried that manner throughout his innings, but also played some confident and exquisite looking strokes. And speaking of confident and exquisite, short, pulled away on the leg side, goes over the infield for 4. What a nice looking shot there.
Well, the Eagles are probably now eyeing that 200 figure. Though the projected scores would suggest 188, but the way they are playing with freedom and ease, Hassan Mohsin, who got a wicket in the last over, with his kind of pace, he's not really going to scare any batters. And with the license from Dilpreet and Mohsin, I think he can travel.
And the umpires are just possibly signaling for a replacement ball. You can see the fielder just trying to see where that ball went, but I think it just seems to have gone through the bushes and into an area where you cannot retrieve it. So short interruption in play here as the umpires just wait to get a ball that's suited to finish the remainder of this innings. And based on what we have seen thus far, Shah, and your knowledge of the batting competency of the Kingsmen X, it definitely can be a very even contest, because even though the score is a good one on this stage, with the likes of Shehan Jayasuriya and Nkrumah Bonner and all of these other batsmen on display, I'm sure you can touch on the other guys who can factor in that innings to help them reach whatever target the Clarion Eagles set.
Yeah, they've got a very strong batting lineup. And if you look at their lineup, like you said, Tejinder Singh is there, Shehan Jayasuriya, Shehan Jahangir as well. Bonner, Hassan Mohsin is very innovative and big hitter. Saad bin Zafar is also very prolific. So they bat deep down and they have plenty of strength and depth. Slow delivery, got underneath it. The bounce was kind enough for Saad Zafar. Single at this stage is a good result.
Definitely. It's a relief for the fielding team after they have been seeing balls deposited to the boundary. 4s and 6s were raining at a point in time, but with Mohammad Mohsin on strike facing against Hassan Mohsin, anything can happen in this battle.
It's in the air and it's carried to the fielder. Once again, an excellent take. Bit of angry, frustrated celebration there for the Kingsman X. But Mohammad Mohsin will walk off to a standing ovation. This has been one fantastic knock from him.
Yes, Mohammad Mohsin certainly leading from the front for his team. He came in at a point where the run rate was just on around 6 over, and thanks to his knock, gets them up to between that 8 and 9 mark. And very good catch as well in the end, as you can see there in the replay from Osama. Dived forward, took it low. In fact, I think he picked it up right before it was reaching to the ground. And never easy those. It's either you get it or you don't. And sometimes even if it's in your hand and you hit the ground, the ball can fall out. So good all-round work there from the bowler and the fielder to set that plan for the set batter.
Still enough time left in the innings for Harmeet Singh to do the damage. The prolific USA all-rounder has walked into the middle. He's really had a fantastic time of late. Had a great World Cup as well for the national side. Good with the bat, excellent with the ball. Wonderful cricketer.
And he got some very key wickets yesterday as well. Was turning the ball squarely. And shouts of hold it from Nkrumah Bonner. From the long on boundary to the fielder. That short, fine leg. So just emphasizing that you don't want to throw away anything on this stage.
Happy with the single at this stage. Happy to give away a single. Hassan Mohsin has recovered well. I have to say, when the carnage was on, he's come up with 2 for 27, one delivery shy of his third over. Goes for the Yorker. It's been squeezed out and timed magnificently. Really no chance for the sweeper, and he was only 10 yards away from the ball.
Yeah, exquisite timing with that shot. Everything seemed to be going in favor of the Eagles at this stage, despite the fall of that wicket. Continuing to score boundaries. Step to that ball nicely. And no real power, but as you rightfully said, Shah, timing was the key factor there. And it brings the 17th over to an end. Clarion Eagles 162 for 5. Run rate of 9.53. Very how these next 3 overs would pan out.
62 with 3 to go. You won't be betting against Clarion Eagles reaching to that magical 200, would you, Keshav?
I wouldn't at this stage because they still have 5 wickets left and it's full license, especially with a batsman of Harmeet Singh's nature at the crease. He's already just eyeing all parts of the field and see what he has to offer.
Not off the middle of the bat, but short boundary, and mid-off was up in the ring, just got over his head. Good start to the over once again for the Eagles.
Exactly so. Harmeet Singh getting into the action himself. And right before the delivery, he just had a brief look around to see which fielders were outside and not. Seeing that fielder at mid-off in the circle, he knew that he could have taken a risk going over his head. And right risk, right reward.
Again short, Akhtar Shah couldn't get hold of it. Harmeet, the height was pretty good on that. I swear it's very difficult to control from that kind of height. Slightly lower than that and the options will open up for Harmeet. The conditions have improved though. The pitch has really, I mean, he's still holding up a little bit, but not as much as we saw when the game first started.
Interestingly, we've seen a lot more pace than spinners use from the Kingsman X.
Look at that fly. Wow, probably this was one of the fastest deliveries of this tournament so far.
Just judging at the reaction of the fielders, I'm wondering if he got a slight edge on that. And maybe it was too quick to be held by the keeper, Jahangir. Yes, definite edge indeed.
And it was still climbing when Jahangir got his gloves to it. Probably would have gone on to 1 bounce 4 if it had eluded Jahangir. We've seen some interesting footage on the YouTube of a few bouncers that Shoaib Akhtar bowled in his time. This is an edge. Will run away. This is the disadvantage as a bowler when you have so much pace. You really pay for what you don't bargain for sometimes.
It really adds insult to injury there. A drop catch followed by a boundary. Also saw that earlier in the innings where a simple drop catch led to a 6 being scored. So, repeat offenders. Dilpreet Singh, 17 from 9. Getting into the action himself. And Harmeet Singh also looking to join in. Really cannot rule out that 200 score at this stage, can we?
No, the ball is flying to all parts. This is a quick yorker from Akhtar Shah. In between, I mean, he's bowled some really good and fast deliveries.
And I think anyone with the name Akhtar should be resonating a lot of pace, you know, just based on the legendary Shoaib Akhtar himself. One of the fastest bowlers we would have seen back in the day. You know, he has to be trying to live up to those standards.
Live up to the name.
And as you mentioned, live up to the name. A very illustrious character has joined us in the commentary booth. Say a very special good day to Mr. Brian Walters.
Well, talk about pace, and Akhtar Shah has taken all the pace off of that delivery. Brian is, I think, he's enjoying his break. Off to a quick munch.
Yeah, definitely. Just to give you an update on the games on the other fields. First innings has been completed. And just 2 overs to go in this match between Clarion Eagles and the Kingsman X.
Another clash at the top of the table in Group A. Atlanta Fire and Samp Army. Atlanta Fire has got 181 for 4. They got runs on the board. Another good delivery from Akhtar. And also remember, they got in their bowling lineup Fani Samathri. In this tournament, has taken 8 wickets for 5 runs. Can you believe that?
Really a very impressive stat indeed from the youngster. I'm sure he'll be looking to get some more wickets and keep that run scoring rate down. Just goes to show you all of the talent we have on display at the Atlanta Open 2024 T20 competition, giving these persons an opportunity to display their skills around the globe and look for selection in various teams.
Hassan Mohsin will be entrusted with the penultimate over, often the most important over.
At this stage, I believe Hassan Mohsin would be the pick of the bowlers in terms of getting 2 wickets.
Taking the pace off, bowling outside the hitting arc of Dilpreet. Was looking to go towards the cow corner, had to drag it from way outside the off stump. By the way, Hassan has got the field set for that kind of shot on the onside. 3 fielders patrolling the boundaries on the onside, and just the 2 on the offside, a long off and a deep cover. Yeah, he got hold of that all right. Saad bin Zafar can watch it sail over his head.
What a lovely looking shot there. Played with quite some ease and no chance for the fielder on the leg side boundary. 6 runs added to the score. Took it from offside, hoisted it to the leg side. Definitely gonna have a go at every delivery remaining in this innings.
Went for the full Yorker, Hassan Mohsin. I was going to say, like Hassan would, with his pace, he cannot afford to get predictable. Now he'll have a different challenge of a left-hander. Probably he'd like the left-hander because the way he bowls those off-cutter slow deliveries. Into the pitch, Harmeet too soon through the stroke.
I think he just took some pace off that delivery as well. Probably one of those slower bouncers that we see so frequently used in this format of the game. And just looking to see who might potentially bowl the final over. We know that Saad Bin bowled 2 overs and had 1 wicket for 6 runs and did not come back into the attack after. Also Umar Khan, 2 overs, 1 for 19. Both spinners, so it seems as if pace has been the go-to.
He's gone straight up. Hassan Mohsin himself takes it brilliantly. He's a wonderful fielder, and that was not easy, I can tell you that. A great catch and an important breakthrough.
Very, very impressive wicket there from Hassan Mohsin. The way that ball was travelling high and beyond him, and you can see already from the moment he delivered into his follow-through, he immediately turned around and sprinted towards the ball. He was going with quite some pace. Also bearing in mind the fielder who was approaching him, they had to have proper communication there to ensure there was no clash. And really well done from the fast bowler in the end. Picks up his 3rd scalp.
It's been a very impressive comeback from Hassan Mohsin. Now his figures read 3 for 38. Go with that excellent catch as well. 1 delivery to go in his spell. Looks like Calvin Savage has made it to the middle. No crossing over rule these days, so the new batter will have to face.
I'm sure Savage will be looking to live up to that name in terms of his stroke play.
He has all the freedom to be one. 2 shot into the pitch. Bonner couldn't get to it. I think this was way too short and allowed Savage plenty of time to pick his spot.
And despite the mistiming of the delivery, because he was hitting to the shorter boundary at that long off region, he was able to get it over for 6, just over the rope, and Bonner was fast approaching. So he'll be thankful for that, and ends the over with a 6. 19 completed, 188 for 6. Just 12 runs to get to that 200 mark, and I'm sure that's where they'll be looking at the Clarion Eagles.
Akhtar Shah, by the looks of it, will bowl. I don't know why Hassan Mohsin chose to bowl the leg cutter slow delivery. Just trying to take the ball away from Calvin Savage, but it was way too short. Slightly fuller in length. It might have been a different story, but that is for later now. Runs have been put on the board, 188, and the final over is coming up. Cry of catch it, just falls short of, looks like Hassan Adil down there.
Didn't get the proper timing on that delivery. Dilpreet Singh brings Calvin Savage into strike. A very tall, strong character is Savage, hailing from South Africa.
Good work from Shayan Jahangir. Just a dot ball at this stage is precious.
Yeah, it really is. In the final over, if you can get at least 2 to 3 dot deliveries, you consider that an excellent return. Bearing in mind the other 3 deliveries can go for 3 boundaries, but it just plays with the psyche of the batsman.
Pretty sure it's just a cat and mouse. Both the batters and bowlers trying to stay one step ahead. Savage is running hard. Don't think he'll have a chance to come back for the second. Single is a good result. Akhtar Shah also has bowled quite well in patches. 1 for 27 for him.
Yeah, despite the 2 no balls early in his spell, has been one of the more threatening fast bowlers in terms of his speed and restricting the run scoring. That said, Hassan Mohsin the pick of them with 3 wickets. That one very low. Batsman just wondering what really took place there. He's just looking at the pitch.
Yeah, the arm went low as well. And Akhtar bowling it wide, targeting that tram line for the, which is guide for the umpires for the wide, trying to stay inside of that, just to stay away from the hitting arc of Dilpreet, who's scored 26 of 16. 2 deliveries to go. They need at least 1 maximum to get to that 200. This is gone up and over, a couple of bounces into the boundary. Dilpreet finds that boundary that was required.
Excellent placement of the shot, because there was a fielder out at deep cover. He just opened the face inside out, and you can see he didn't really move his feet any much, but the ball was right within his arc and allowed him to free his levers. 4 welcome runs added to the total. 194 with 1 delivery left.
Has it gone all the way? Yes, it has, and that magical figure of 200 has been reached, to the delight of Keshav right next to me.
We were saying at the start of the game, Shah, what a sight it would be for a team to get 200 on this field, especially given the low scores we have seen in the last 2 days and the improvement in the pitch on this 3rd day. They finally get to that magical number, the Clarion Eagles, and really is a formidable and challenging target for the Kingsmen next to come out and chase.
Yeah, well, a telling blow to close out the innings. It has been a magnificent innings altogether. Mohammad Mohsin and Erasmus will really take the plaudits, because they're the ones in the middle of the innings. The partnership that they had really propelled the scoring rate, and after that the momentum kept with the Eagles right till the end. Like I mentioned, the start was good. Mukhtar had a few good blows, but in the beginning conditions was difficult. Akarshit with 32, Mohammad Mohsin 53, Rasmus 40, and Dilpreet providing the finishing touches with 36. Wickets for Hassan Mohsin, 3 for 44, and then Saad bin Zafar, Akhtar, and Umar Khan shared a wicket each. Well, we got a very, very exciting run chase coming your way. It's just about time for us to take a little breather, and on the other side, we'll come back with the run chase. So please don't go away and keep watching. Very warm welcome to the Paramveer Cricket Complex here in Rydal. A gorgeous day and a great contest in store. Once again, I've got alongside me Keshav. Very quick warm welcome to you as well.
Thank you very much, So we're into this exciting run chase from the Kingsman X against the Clarion Eagles. Scored 200 in their first innings total, means that Kingsman X would require 201 for victory. Just around that 10 runs per over mark. And we've already seen the first over. A very miserly one from Erasmus.
It's Jesse Singh, USA speedster, to Awazia, who's the impact sub, and he's got the ball rolling with the first boundary of the innings. 2 straight from Jesse Singh, and Awazia capitalizes.
Yeah, definitely that ball was a bit too straight, and you can see the line. He was able to just get within his range and tuck that down to the leg side for a boundary.
Very pacey is Jesse Singh. Generally, Awazia is very strong square of the wicket. He'd feel he missed out on it. Probably the angle took the ball away too far from his reach.
Yeah, it's bowling with some good pace here, as Jesse Singh, and we've already seen the pitch been favourable to pace in terms of the carry through to the keeper. Noticeable difference from the previous 2 days of matches we have had at Field 2 in the Paramveer Sports Complex. Spin was the name of the game for the first 2 days, and today we have seen majority of paces used in the first innings.
Slow delivery, no footwork from Awazia. Really lucky he's still there. Swing and a miss. Awazia is ready to go hard from the get-go. Though we've seen the pattern, the batters who've done really well generally were prepared to have a quick look in. Short boundaries, once you get your eye in, get to the pace of the wicket, it's really difficult to stop the flow of runs here. Really had to get that ball straightened from that angle to get the leg before decision, Jesse Singh.
You can see that ball just drifting down to the leg side, and still got a single to complete. So at the end of 2 overs, 7 without loss. Kingsmen very cautious start thus far, given the fact that the required run rate, in fact, is already going above 10. You don't want to let that climb too often.
Yeah, that's true. That's the problem with the run chase. As Awazia has pulled out the reverse sweep, couldn't find the gap. Yeah, in terms of scoreboard pressure, it builds on you when you're in a run chase situation. Although you'd see that when the team's batting first, they can take their time and explode later. Good hand once again. Awazia couldn't pierce the field.
Yeah, very excellent fielding attempt indeed. Saved his team 3 runs there. And the Clarion Eagles would want all of the fieldsmen in their team to be on that same level of commitment. must be able to throw their bodies around and prevent any extra runs being scored. Ensure that pressure is created on the Kingsmen.
Every such effort will create pressure on the batters. Jahangir has gone big. He's not found the gap. Mohammad Mohsin quickly lurking around that square leg boundary, gets to the ball.
And Jahangir will certainly be one of the batsmen that Kingsmen are looking towards in terms of getting a formidable start and carry them through this innings. In this tournament thus far, top score of 87, present average of 74, with one of his innings being not out. So certainly in the right form. And this one is skied up into the air. A fielder getting onto it. Signal his hand up to say that he had the catch, but unfortunately he drops it. I'm not sure if he judged it properly or if he was essentially just looking up at the sun and may have been affected by the glare. But he seemed to have it covered.
Yeah, he had a long time to get underneath it. Never balanced with his stance under the ball. He got too low eventually when he put his hands onto the ball and couldn't hold on to it. Could be a costly miss. A little bit of turn for Erasmus. Bowling quicker through the air, not allowing Jahangir the time to react. It's the utility of Erasmus. Too straight from Jahangir, hits the stumps at the non-striker end.
As you mentioned utility, that delivery he bowled from behind the umpire as well. If we can just get a replay of that from where Erasmus delivered that ball from. 11 without loss after 3. You can see he's pulling out all of his experience and tricks on display. You can see here from way behind the crease.
That's what they call the 22-yarder. And obviously he couldn't get in front to stop the ball because he was still behind the stumps. Yeah, like I was telling about his utility, his versatility with the ball, it's very difficult to bowl in the power play. He's got away with 2 very cheap overs, which are absolutely priceless. And then we saw his batting. And wait till you see him go in the field as well, because he's an outstanding fielder.
I think he's one of those persons you can look at when you say the definition of a complete all-rounder. Bat, ball and field, and captaincy and leadership qualities as well.
The finger has gone up. Jesse Singh celebrates right across the face of Shayan Jahangir, his teammate in the national team. And this is a big wicket because Shayan was the man in form for the Kingsmen X.
Definitely a huge breakthrough for the Clarion Eagles. Jahangir just walks away in a sad manner in terms of, I'm sure he'd be very disappointed with having to depart. That one seems to probably have been drifting towards the leg side. Based on the impact, it could be that the umpire in his discretion decided that the ball would have gone on to hit the stumps. Again, he's the best placed person and we are not in the position to make any statements in terms of what the decision ought to have been, but it was a close one indeed.
Yeah, often the guide is where the wicket keepers ended up, and have a look, the impact and the angle, but look at where wicket keeper is expecting that ball to be taken, way down the leg side. But Shayan, the way he finished off, sometimes it's look as bad as it was, and then the umpire thought long and hard and just gave him out. Shayan didn't have much complaints. He's a top pro, so he knows once that finger is raised, it's all gone for him.
Also didn't help the fact that the bowler ran right in front of his face with a very exaggerated celebration.
I'm pretty sure they've spent so much time together with the national team, both Jesse Singh and Shayan.
Good friends indeed, off the field as well.
Yeah. It's just that something that Jesse would remind him when they get back together, that I had your number on that day in Atlanta.
It's always very interesting to see when teammates are put against each other in different competitions, and that's the beauty of franchise cricket, where you can see players from various countries and territories representing their franchise for the same cause and playing against their best of friends.
Jesse's really running in smoothly. He's got a good rhythm going. Often at times we've seen when he's been attacked, then he really buckles under the pressure, but unless you do that, you allow him to bowl, he thrives on that confidence. He's a very, as they often say, he's a cricketer that he blows hot and cold depending on his confidence, and today he looks very confident.
They will need him to be very hot indeed today, because they don't want any cold feet out there. Need to get this victory, the Clarion Eagles, and ensure that they are top of the table in their group.
Nice use of the wrist. Saf Badar has got a very strong arm. Look at this go. Flat and hard. Excellent piece of outfielding from him.
Yeah, very good accuracy with the throw as well to the keeper, ensuring that there was no chance of a second run. And it brings back the infamous Shehan Jayasuriya on strike. Notably played for Sri Lanka, the Goa Gladiators, Sri Lanka under 19s and under 23s as well, Seattle Orcas, as well as the Sri Lanka Board's President 11.
It's a matter of getting a partnership going. Once they do that, it really is very difficult to stop the flow of runs on this field. Short boundaries, downhill in certain parts of the ground. But so far so good for the Eagles. They've really bowled with great lines, great disciplines. If they had taken that chance that Avaz they offered, probably Kingsman X would be in even more trouble.
And definitely agree with that. As the old saying goes, catches win matches. Tucked away into the leg side for a single. So at this stage, the Kingsmen are just getting off to a bit of a slow start. Not the electrifying beginning we would have anticipated, given the fact that they have to chase on around 10 runs per over. But 4 overs completed, 15 for the loss of 1.
It's happening in the adjacent field. Atlanta Fire has really got some army on the ropes. 27 for 5, chasing 181. And that would mean that Atlanta Fire are really favorites to finish top of that group. And with an increased net run rate, as we watch Zhao smashes one into the deep and into the gap as well. Dilpreet in the deep had no chance. A much needed boundary here for the Kingsman X.
Yeah, definitely needed that to relieve some of the tension and stress building on the Kingsman X. You have to continue scoring throughout overs. Don't want to leave it for too late.
This has gone way up and very, very far as well. This is a magnificent strike from Avazia.
Lovely looking stroke. And a huge 6. That one went all the way down to field number 3. Seeing the fielder have to run across to retrieve it, but excellent stroke indeed.
So often we've seen in T20 cricket, Erasmus bowling his 3rd over. Generally, we don't see bowlers bowling a 3-over spell, because then the batters can line them up and see what they're doing. And finger spinner like Erasmus, you run the risk of getting too predictable, especially if the same batters are around, and Avaz has been there since the beginning. This one
And I believe that the fielders would have benefited from that ball just hitting the edge of the AstroTurf pitch on the outskirts of the square, because it hit the edge and just went looped in the air essentially to the fielder.
Oh, it's gone past the wicketkeeper. Did he get an edge on it? The chase is on. Mohsin pulls the ball back inside and wait for the umpire's signal. Nothing on it. Bar signaled. Extravagant turn there for Erasmus. But the runs continue to come in this over.
And I'm sure they'll be most grateful. They needed an over to sort of up the momentum, give them that positive impetus. And you see the switch hit being pulled out, but not successfully, as it strikes him on the body to complete that over from Erasmus. A bit expensive by his standards, but given the fact that his first 2 overs were very tight indeed, still has very good figures. 27 for 1 after 5.
Situation, Atlanta Fire, if you go by the way they're performing today, right now, they will finish top of Group A and probably will finish the top seed as well with their superior net run rate. Kingsman X going into this game had a superior run rate in this group, so if they would have won, they could possibly become the second team to qualify for the semi-final directly, ending like in top 2 seeds. Obviously the points are the same, but the net run rate, they've got a superior net run rate. Knight Riders United, who will be in action this afternoon on field 1, they have 4 points and a superior net run rate in Group B, and the closest to them is Kingsmen with a similar number of points and a lesser run rate, and both these two are going head to head this afternoon. So first of all, whichever team wins will put themselves into that position to get into the top 2, and if they win by margin, then they definitely will get into the top 2 alongside Atlanta Fire.
Yeah, a lot of computations and factors in play for the teams on this final day in the group stage of matches. Everyone will be looking for a victory. Some may have to factor in the run rates of the other teams to see how quickly they need to get that victory. But it really is all to play for here.
West has really been making an attempt to up the ante, but in between there have been quite a few dot balls. I think he has 2 boundaries and 1 6, but in between, like I said, plenty of dot balls. Scoring at less than a runner ball at this stage. The final over before the power play. Calvin Savage has been lifted wide of that fielder at long off, more towards extra cover, and that has gone all the way.
No easy shot indeed from away, and that one was certainly slotted some miles. I'm just trying to figure out how far that ball actually went, because I'm looking at the fielder going to retrieve it, and it's quite some distance indeed. So a very convincing extra cover shot there from the left-handed batsman, looking to accelerate that run scoring. If they can try to get at least a 6 or 4 per over and then rotate the strike, the bad balls will come. You just have to put them away.
Yeah, probably this is the signal of him just changing gears. Calvin Savage has changed the angle. He's coming over the wicket now. It's in the air, but nobody's close in, and a single after that, boundary 6. Shan Jayasuriya has been around in the middle for a while, but he's only played 4 deliveries, so Wazia has taken most of the strike.
Yeah, definitely Jayasuriya. He probably just want to face a couple more balls, unless he decides to go from ball 1. Only 3 from 4 thus far. And you've seen a cautious approach to just knock around the ball for some singles. And again, following that manner, I think he's aware that his partner is playing a bit more aggressively at this stage, so taking the opportunity to just play himself in while rotating the strike.
Excellent. The calm and the poise that Jayasuriya is showing, it is suggesting that he's in control. He's not phased by the required run rate. He knows the dynamics of this ground, and he's got a method for this run chase. You don't have to give too much room to Avazia because he's very, very strong square of the wicket. Just waited on that delivery a little bit and then freed his arm. An excellent over for the Kingsman X, finishing off with the boundary.
Lovely placement on the shot as well. Was wide enough for him to just free his levers and cut that through the vacant gap in the offside. Fielders unable to do anything to prevent that boundary. And welcome runs added to the total. 40 for 1 after 6. Power play is now complete. And Erasmus is into his 4th over. So as you mentioned before, you usually see a bowler get about 2 overs in a T20 match and then either keep 2 for the end, especially when he opens the bowling. But in this occasion, Erasmus is bowling his complete spell.
Chance, direct hit, and Avaz was gone. He'd almost given up. Both these batters are not renowned for their quick running between the wickets.
They'll have to make up for that with the power hitting, I'm sure. And a close attempt indeed. If he actually threw to Erasmus for his hand, it would have been much closer. Just as in this occasion. Dot ball. Golden again at this stage. And he fends that one into the offside with soft hands. Smartly played from Jayasuriya. Showing all of his experience and composure, most important. Not seeming phased at all by the daunting total they have to chase. Oh, and that delivery turned square from Erasmus. Ball seemed to be pitching on or around that leg stump region. Turned way past the off stump.
Oh, fetch that. In the arc and out of the park. Avazia has had the last laugh as Erasmus closes out his spell with a maximum.
Yeah, Erasmus unfortunately just going a bit too full on that occasion. And what a lovely shot indeed. Too full and too straight right into the arc and lofted over the boundary for 6. So he finishes his spell. 4 overs for 25, no wicket. But in the context of the game, given the fact that the required run rate at the start would have been 10 per over, you can say it was still a very crucial spell from Erasmus, restricting the run scoring and keeping his economy just above 6 per over. Worm chart and the comparison. We note that at the end of 7 overs, Clarion Eagles were positioned at 45 for 1, and at the end of 7 overs in comparison, the Kingsmen X are positioned at 49 for 1. So in fact, they are ahead of the run scoring at this stage of the innings. However, you have to be mindful of the blast to the lower end of the innings for Clarion Eagles from Mohammad Mohsin as well as Erasmus.
Yeah, this is very interesting chart and the comparisons, because as a chasing team you always feel like you're behind the 8 ball, the kind of start that Kingsman X has got. But if you look at the numbers, they're slightly ahead, even in terms of wickets lost as well. So you feel they're in the game. It's just when you look at the scoreboard, what Clarion Eagles got it, and Kingsman X has still to get there. Although his partnership has started to go a little bit. Shan Jayasuriya probably not at his best form just yet, coming off the back of a century-and-a-half century in this tournament. These partnerships continue to grow. We've seen that on this field. You cannot stop the flow of runs, like you mentioned. Erasmus did that. And then Mohsin, Dilpreet coming after them. This has gone straight up. Savage underneath it. He takes the catch. And Awazia's knock will come to an end.
He just had to ensure to balance himself after completing that catch when he landed. He went with the reverse cup position, did Savage, and seemed comfortable in the end. So took the safer route by ensuring that his hands were, yes, just falling over there.
That was one for the camera, Keshaf. He really held it comfortably.
I think he's aware of the fact that the camera is directly behind him. Made it look good as well. So breakthrough for the Clarion Eagles. Batsman who is in form and hitting the ball to all parts of the ground has to depart. And the skipper, Tajinder Singh, enters the crease. 51 for 2 after 7.5. 2 new batsmen relatively at the crease, because Shayan Jayasuriya 7 from 11. Just seems to be taking it easy at this stage. Looks to be rotating a strike and probably just getting his eye in, but we all know what he's capable of. Once he's there for a few more overs, take nothing away from his power hitting capabilities if he's needed in the end.
Yeah, follow wicket is never ideal in a run chase, getting a new batter in, but I think Avas probably was feeling a bit itchy. He's gone now. What Tajinder Singh can do, he's also in good form, not in this tournament, but he's gone now. Before I can give him any build-up, his stumps has been rattled, and Dilpreet Singh, after his Henry contribution with the bat, has made an immediate impact with the ball.
2 back-to-back wickets for Dilpreet Singh, and I'm not too sure if that's the ideal stroke for the skipper to be playing on his first ball to the crease. A cross-batted attempt, trying to slog that one over to the leg side. I think he might have been better off playing straight or through the V's, and no harm. It was the last delivery of Singh's over as well. So I think he would have been better off if he just took some time to settle in. However, it also brings another very powerful batsman to the crease, the Jamaican, hitting from the West Indies, and Nkrumah Bonner. 51 for 3 after 8. Couple of quick wickets in that over, certainly causing some anxiety in the camp for Kingsman X.
Yeah, how quickly it can change. We saw the comparisons at the end of 7 overs where they were ahead in runs and equal on wickets. 2 quick wickets has really given the advantage to Clarion Eagles. Bonner and Shayan Jayasuriya. Shayan, who hasn't flexed any muscle just yet in the first 11 deliveries. Be interesting to see what is his approach after the loss of 2 wickets. A slow cutter into the pitch. Calvin Savage, and perplexed is Shayan Jayasuriya.
He's just still standing there with his arms outstretched, wondering what took place with that delivery. Again, we have seen a pace bowler with the first ball of his spell opting to go with that slower ball, either bouncer or just slower ball, foolish line delivery, but certainly got the better of Jayasuriya there.
Singles there for Jayasuriya so far in this innings.
Just take a look at that first delivery again. I think it's actually the amount of turn from that cutter which had Jayasuriya perplexed. Look at it. When the ball pitches, it just turns squarely away. And that is a magnificent shot there in terms of the camera work, just to show the deviation of that ball is definitely something to not take lightly. And after seeing that turn, Shah just wondering why is it that the two left-arm orthodox bowlers who bowl really well for the Kingsman X, they weren't allowed to complete their spell.
Yeah, you can see the bowling card and you can question some of the bowling options used. But that is gone and that's history now. That's for another day to do the analytics on that. But for now, I mean, the run chase is really stuttering. Just when I thought they're getting into some momentum, they lost 2 wickets in 1 over.
It just goes to show you how quickly the game of cricket can turn on its head. Momentum can shift from deliveries to overs.
Offline, Calvin Savage. Went for the full Yorker. Calvin Savage is very, very tall. It's really difficult to pick out his Yorker if he gets it right, and that was indeed a good Yorker.
Yeah, it certainly was. And Bonner, a very competent batsman. Played for the West Indies, a 35-year-old. Also played for Jamaica under 19s, West Indies under 19s, and played for the Jamaica Talawas in the CPL.
Another wide this time. Shayan Jayasuriya gets his wish.
Bonner having played cricket for quite some time. More so known for the test format. He played for West Indies and had a healthy average of 38.2. T20s, only played a couple of games for them and played T20s in the CPL format as well. We need to call on all of his experience as well as Jayasuriya. And at that point, saw him advancing down the wicket, but a wild heave.
First signs of real aggression there from Jayasuriya. Just filling you in on the game in the adjacent field, Atlanta Fire versus Samparmi. Samparmi reeling 44 for 7. Not good news. Aaron Jones, the big hitting Aaron Jones, who's made a first appearance in this tournament today, went out cheaply. Former Atlanta Fire batter Aaron Jones, he was taken out by Emil Aponso, his good old mate. Must have been a bit of a homecoming for Aaron Jones, but not a successful one. But I'm sure he'll come into his own later in the tournament.
Definitely, especially coming off of that CPL victory with St. Lucia Zouk, so he played a crucial knock in the final game. You want to regain some of that form and transfer it to this tournament. Across here, back on field 2, 9 overs completed, 56 for the loss of 3. and slotted right behind the bowler for 4 runs straight as an arrow. And Jayasuriya seems to be coming more and more into his aggressive nature after just watching a few of the first deliveries that he faced. Definitely seems to be going on the acceleration.
Well, he can't allow for it to be too late. That required run rate is already touching 13. He had to do something about it. Mohammad Mohsin is a very, very good leg spinner, and if you allow him to bowl, he can build a lot of pressure on you. Little ball hunt going on at the far end. It's now or never for Kingsman X in this game right now. Bonner and Jayasuriya will really have to put the foot down on the paddle. You cannot allow this run rate to go any more than what it is right now at 13 and over. They got to start looking for at least one boundary and over from here, which is quite a long period to do it for almost 11 overs. But I've mentioned many a times that when a partnership gets going on this field, it's hard to stop the flow of runs. And so far, the innings for Kingsman X really hasn't had that kind of rhythm that they really require for chasing down a huge target, such as the Clarion Eagles have posted. Ball has been retrieved. Mohsin. This battle resumes with Jayasuriya. Off the edge and onto the thigh, it ballooned up in the air. Calvin Savage was a little deep. It went in the air for a long time, but away from him.
I think he was just trying to play a sort of scoop shot. I see him rehearsing it at the non-striker end. Didn't get the execution he would have liked. And Bonner comes in to strike. Played nicely down the ground for a single. Bowls a bit of leg spin himself, does Bonner, so sure he'd be familiar with the style of bowling that he's facing.
He singles after that big hit. Not enough, you may feel. Bonner has only faced 3 deliveries so far. Just a quiet end to the over. 10 gone. Kingsman X 63 for 3. Kingsman X, Usman Khan Shinwari now. Although Bonner may like the extra pace, and so would Jayasuriya. game has hit a bit of a lull here.
It's a good delivery to start up from Usman. Nice pace generated.
Usman has obviously played for Pakistan at the ODI level and T20 level. Almost played Test cricket as well, but mainly specialised in white ball cricket. It's got good set of skills, good pace. Oh, went through the legs of Savage. It's a boundary after quite a while, it may seem, although we had one at the beginning of the last over. First delivery of Mohsin's over went for a boundary.
Yeah, that was definitely a cardinal sin committed by Savage. Ball going through his legs after he went down to collect it. And unfortunately, he went for 4. Sometimes those simple incidents can have lasting effects because it gives you a boundary and just eases the foot off of the neck of the team that's under pressure.
Okay. Jayasuriya moves to 19 now of 22 deliveries, less than a run of balls up to this stage.
Kingsman next needing 133 from 9.3 overs. Required run rate of 14 per over. So we noted at the start of the innings they needed 10 runs per over, and it has just steadily climbed as they were unable to maintain that consistency in scoring with the run rate. Let's play with soft hands into the gap on the offside for a quick single. Sabana just looking to tick things over as he's just entered the crease.
Yeah, one boundary and over, but now it's getting to a stage where probably for the remainder of the innings they will require 2 boundaries. More than 14 needed. The approach of Jayasuriya still suggests that he's very calm and calculated. You feel that how far deep he wants to take this innings into before unleashing. This is in the air, Savage diving forward. Does well. It is never easy for such a tall man to go down and then dive forward. Redeems himself almost from that miss earlier in the over.
I dare say he did, because if he missed that one, it was certainly going for 4. And it was a very difficult catch indeed. So he dived forward, attempting to get it, but actually it went to him on the bounce. Yes, just got it right as it bounced.
Yeah, the bowling is too good. Jayasuriya just cannot get away from this Clarion Eagles bowling lineup. 11 gone, 69 for 3, just 6 of the over. Alongside me, Kishaf, enjoying your work?
Definitely. It's a pleasure to be out here in Atlanta and to be part of this Atlanta Open T20 tournament. I must say, first time in this part of the United States of America, and it really is amazing to see all of the talent on display. A mixture of youngsters with seniors getting to rub shoulders either in the same teams or against each other. You know, really grateful for the opportunity to be part of this wonderful tournament.
And you could not have asked for better settings. The weather today is absolutely gorgeous. I know you're feeling a little bit cold in the shade with a little bit of breeze. Well, let me tell you, this is called pleasant in this part of the world as we watch Another straight strike. Oh, what a great effort. This is absolutely superb. Got to see who's down there in the distance, but what an effort.
Absolutely amazing fielding effort there. Look at this dive to his right. Stopped it with one hand and kept it within the rope. Great fielding attempt. We did say that they need to be able to throw their bodies all over. As Jayasuriya skies one into the air. Savage stands under it and takes it comfortably. Takes his second catch of the game, and despite that misfield in that last over, certainly redeems himself, because that wasn't an easy catch at all. Went very high up into the air and just seen a bit of cloud cover around, and the sun is beating down as well, so had to be at his wits there, Savage. And a very important breakthrough for the Clarion Eagles.
He judged it beautifully. Got his hands out, fingers pointing up, and that tumble still allowed him to stay inside the field of play. Beautifully judged and made it look very, very easy. Calvin Savage. Now Jayasuriya has walked back, and this run chase is now well and truly hit the ropes.
Yeah, it certainly has. Bonner still there at the crease, but very new. Osama Bal now coming to the fore. But Jayasuriya was certainly one of their premier batsmen, and they would have been reliant on him due to the form that he produced in the previous game. So, very crucial wicket indeed. I think at this stage it's either they really try to go after the bowling or they just play out the overs, because that run rate is just going to keep on climbing. Now it's over 15 per over. 4 wickets already down, so not an easy task, is it? But they have to give it a try.
Now the slip in place. Mohsin has got his tail up after a half century with the bat. He's got a wicket already. Looking to turn in yet another man of the match performance. Shots of catch it, and it will sped away very quickly away from the fielder.
Thankfully a boundary there for the Kingsman X. Hit it quite powerfully. This delivery just bit too straight. Was outside of the off stump, and he just stepped back and across and slug swept that one for 4.
Shots of catch it again. 3 fielders, and it falls in between the cover and long off fielder. For a moment, long on was coming in. Probably he judged it nice and early that it wasn't his ball. But living dangerously, Osama has come in. What can Bonner do here? Kishap, you know a lot more about him.
So traditionally Bonner has been more of a test player in the longer format, but I was just about to say, take nothing away from his ability to hit the ball cleanly and long distances. Right on cue, he delivers with a 6, and is a very strong and muscular built person in Kruma Bonner.
Mohsin providing him with the length to get underneath it. Down on one knee, over long on. A massive hit to close out the over.
To give you context as well, Bonner, his test average for West Indies is in fact 38, around there. But his T20 average, bear in mind he only played a couple of games in the CPL for Jamaica Talawas as well as for West Indies, it's around 13 or 14. So he's traditionally a player who likes to take his time, play each ball on its merit. But I have seen instances where in the regional format as well as the West Indies test format, he has been able to become an aggressor when required in situations. So at this point I don't think he has much of a choice except to go after the bowling and be a bit more attacking with his stroke play.
Well, they need plenty more of this big hitting prowess from Bonner. At the moment, it's Osama on strike against Usman Khan Shenwari. Wow, what a shot! Hold on. We still got some fight left in us. This is what Kingsman X is telling, and this is a superb shot from Osama.
And this is where the real excitement will come in, because from this point going forward, they have to be aggressive. 15 runs and over required, at least 2 to 3 boundaries per over. And to start the over with such an exquisite drive over cover certainly sets the tone. It's played with soft hands for a single. Don't think the Eagles would be too minded with singles at this stage, but definitely don't want to give away any boundary scoring opportunities. They want to maintain the pressure that they have applied from the start. They've been very tight in the field. Have bowled some good lines and lengths with the ball. Just fended it to the offside from Bonner.
I'm pretty certain when they introduced Avazia, they would have taken Ahsan Adil out or Ghulam Mudassir as an impact sub. That makes me think that still Saad bin Zafar is waiting in the wings. He's a pretty decent bat. And so is Hassan Mohsin. Umar Khan can strike a few blows. Just need to get on a roll from here.
Yeah, we saw Hassan Mohsin just walking along the boundary previously and just indicating that he had a bit of a niggle in his shoulder, but he hoped that he'll be alright and able to bat if required.
All action, Usman Shinwari first appealing for the leg before and then going for the run out. Hits the stump direct, but no damage done.
Great acrobatic effort though, I must say, to be able to retrieve the ball after appealing and then flick it directly onto the stumps. And you can see he was facing the umpire until he realized the batsman was out of his crease, picked up the ball and flicked it onto the stumps. Excellent work there from the bowler.
In the mix was the wicketkeeper as well. He had to jump high to let the ball go and hit the stumps because he was in that line. All action.
A team effort.
And the end result, a dot ball.
Just shows the passion and commitment of Usman.
Slow delivery. There you go. It's been the pattern last 3 overs. They're able to find the boundary earlier in the over, but then not able to capitalize and turn it into a real big over. Good comeback from Usman Shinwari.
All the bag of tricks on display as well, showing his vast experience and knowledge of the game, Shinwari.
Take that. He's really just give it a flick and it's carried a long way. Once again it's Osama. He started the over off with a boundary and finished it off with a maximum.
Yeah, and the couple of dot deliveries in between seemed as if Shinwari's was going to end the over on a bowling high, but in contrast, batsman decides to change the name and the nature of this game. Goes for a maximum, and just want to make sure all of our supporters are on the ground. Alright, that one just hitting the gears bag of one of the youngsters. So at the end of 13 overs, 93 for 4.
Look at Hermeet coming into the bowling crease now, where his teammates have pretty much done the damage for him. The required run rate before even he was introduced was 15.6.
Yeah, I was actually wondering when Hermeet was going to be introduced because he bowled really well yesterday. And we have seen the pitch is taking turn. It is responsive to the slower bowlers. So, what a time for him to be introduced.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Hermeet, whichever team he plays, probably one of the first names on the team sheet. Osama went for the big reverse. Did he get something on it? Coming back for the second run. Wait for the umpire signal. Yep, bye signal. Nothing on it.
Jesse Singh notably also has 2 overs left. He bowled 2 overs, 1 wicket for 8 runs. So 6.3 overs remaining. I'm sure they'll be looking to him to complete his spell as well.
Shouts of catch it. Oh, what a spectacular effort that was. Is it Erasmus? It looks like it. Can you see the fielder?
You just see, look at the replay.
I told you about his fielding prowess earlier, Keshav. Have a look at that. He was absolutely flying parallel to the ground.
What an excellent effort indeed. If that stuck to his hand, I think we'd have a definite contender, if not first place winner for the catch of the tournament thus far.
It's 10 of the over. 14 gone. Kingsman X 103 for 4. Loopy full toss, dipping on Osama. He's really come out and batted with purpose. 26 of 13 for him.
Savage into his third over. Was a bit expensive in the first 2. Going at around 9 runs per over. Conceded 18 without any wicket, but took 2 very important catches in the field. Had 1 minor blunder with a misfield that went for 4, but sure he looked to shake that off. And the umpire signal a wide to Savage. This is like he's just protesting. Trying to figure out where did that ball actually pass. And take a look again at this delivery. Oh, I think he does have a bit of a case there, Savage. That ball actually spun like an off-spin delivery into the wide line, as in within the allowed limit.
Bona's got hold of that. Into the car park. They need plenty more of those.
Pure West Indian power on display here from Nkrumah Bonner. Told you, he's usually not an aggressive player, but he does have the ability to hit the ball a long way. And look at that, a classic cricket stroke. Was just a flick to the leg side and went easily into the car park. Thankfully, we didn't hear any noise to indicate that it struck anyone's vehicle.
You know, your car is down in that direction, the big Suburban. Is that yours?
Yes, it actually is. to make sure that all the vehicles are safe. Don't worry, any persons watching on, you're free to come down to the Powerplay Sports Complex. Your vehicle will be free from any flying cork balls.
16 and over for the remaining 5.3 overs. And we've seen 80 scored in the last 5 overs, but they really need to get on a roll. And the way the Clarion Eagles are bowling, it looks very unlikely. Not impossible though.
Excellent Yorker there from Savage. Swatted away on the leg side, but there is protection on that deep square leg boundary. So just a single to Bonner.
Well, the games have finished in the other field, so we got a bit of a crowd now. See if Kingsman X can get some inspiration and get on a roll. They need 16.84. They really need a boundary of this last delivery to get into the last 5 with 80 required. If they can do that, very difficult to get underneath such deliveries. Excellent finish to the over from Savage. 15 done. Kingsman X 114 for 4.
So it's going to be Harmeet Singh to continue. Struck powerfully from Nkrumah Bonner. Goes a long way over the boundary rope. And he definitely seems to be getting into his stride here. A lusty blow for 6 from the Jamaican. A bit too full from Harmeet Singh. Bonner allowed to free his hands. And that delivery was definitely one to his liking. See a lovely shot of the trees all around the ground, which is in fact where the ball went into. A very scenic area is this part of state of Georgia in Atlanta. The Powerplay Sports Complex, where we are live from. Truly a wonderful sight. Lovely cricketing fields with mountainous terrain and flora all around. And that's a wide delivery from Harmeet Singh. Just pushing that one a bit quicker through the air. And too much turn. Short and cut away with just a single. Good work by Mukhtar Ahmed in the covers. Full toss. Hit straight onto the field at long on. And a comfortable catch is taken. Osama has to go. And he just squats in disappointment. A full toss delivery. It was a bit quicker again through the air. So may have just rushed onto him a bit. Not able to time the ball as well as he would have liked. And you can see Harmeet Singh also went wide off the crease. That's to change that angle. But very, very comfortable catch indeed. I believe that's Jesse Singh who took it. So another strike for the Clarion Eagles. Kingsman X 122 for 5 in 15.3. And it brings to the crease Hassan Mohsen. Was a pick of the bowlers for the Kingsman X. Got 3 wickets for 44. A bit expensive, given the fact that Clarion Eagles reached 200 as their total. But he was very instrumental in picking up those key wickets and also had a wonderful caught and bowl attempt. Let's see what he has to offer with the bat. Seeing the wicket keeper, the signaling potential change in the field, and he's moved the fielder deep on the boundary from deep cover to a deep point. Other fielders outside, the long off, the long on. A deep wide mid wicket as well as a deep square leg as that one strikes him on the body. And a direct hit from the keeper onto the stumps allows the batsman to come back for a second run. You can see that delivery. There really was a soft appeal. All of the players didn't go up in unison. Just the keeper and the bowler were mainly interested, but keeper did well to retrieve the ball and direct it at the stumps. However, still led to an extra run as nobody was around to retrieve it. And the finger is raised. Hassan Mohsen has to go on the second occasion trying to play the same type of shot. It seems to have been a bottom edge, but there was a clear noise indeed, and the umpire probably just waiting a couple seconds before he could have confirmed his decision.
Not much option there for Hassan Mohsen. It did turn. Did it get a top edge? We won't be able to tell from this angle. Umpire was thinking, and on the second time of asking, Harmeet Singh got the decision in his favor. This run chase has well and truly been derailed. 124 for 6 now.
Flurry of wickets, 2 in this over alone. And I mean, it's either they go hard or they go home. .77 needed in 4.1 overs. Again, we have seen some interesting periods of play in T20 cricket. We have seen some masterful displays of batting where batsmen are able to achieve such a target. However, when the pressure is stacked against you and with only 4 wickets left, it really does seem like an uphill task. Oh, and he's got him again. Full onto the pads. Hits him plumb. And Saad has to depart for a golden duck, as they would say.
Well, Harmeet, it took him a while to get to the bowling crease. It didn't take him long to make the impact that he so often does. 3 wickets now. And this time Saad bin Zafar, his fellow counterpart with the left arm spin department. This one was plumb in front, very, very full as well. Saad was falling over and he couldn't believe his luck, but he will have to depart for a duck. Now it's Clarion Eagles who's got firmly on top here It looks like just the last rights to be written. 16 gone, 124 for 7. Well, in terms of qualifications, the Group A has been sorted. Atlanta Fire has finished at the top. So definitely they've made it into the top 3. Top 2 will qualify directly into the semi-final, and they got a good chance to be in that top 2 because of their net run rate, which is 5.99. The closest contestant to that for now is Clarion Eagles, but this one has been thumped, and Usman Shinwari will take the catch. His comprehensive win can also give Clarion Eagles the chance to qualify directly into the semis. They still got work to do. 2 wickets still to be taken, but they're firmly in control and they're well on their way to top Group C.
Another one bites the dust. And Bonner has to go. I think he would have been probably the last man able to hopefully get him close to that target, given his expansive power hitting and a couple sixes that he hit prior to his departure. But fortunately, he has to go out, caught in the deep, and 8 wickets now down. Just 2 remaining. 77 still required, 3.4 overs. It's just a matter of which one comes first, I believe, at this stage. Either the overs are bowled out or the batting team is bowled out.
Big burly figure of Akhtar Shah has made it to the middle. Both the batters haven't faced a single delivery between them.
In the air again, but safely into the gap, taking a thick outside edge, and goes over the head of the fielder at short third, and boundary added to the total. Don't think it's really going to make much difference in the grand scheme at this stage, but sure it would do for his confidence personally.
You know, it may do some damage to the Clarion Eagles' hopes of qualifying directly for the semi-final. The bigger the margin, the easier it will be for them to go through and not having to go through those playoffs. This stage, they're good value for that top 3 finish. Can they get into the top 2? Well, a couple of blows like this and this equation will get closer. Jesse Singh has been put away for back-to-back boundaries. Akhtar Shah is giving him some back.
Yeah, he's definitely not holding anything back. Lovely looking shot there from Shah. Seems to have the traits of a opening batsman. You also know that he did well with the ball. Short, and the umpire signals 1 for the over. Shah is looking for a wide signal instead, but just 1 for the over. Signal from the square leg, and now the standing umpire. Jesse Singh 2 for 16 from his 2.5. Really set the tone for the Clarion Eagles when he started with the bat. The ball, that is. Short again and hoisted into the air and goes well over the boundary into field number 1 for a comfortable 6. Akhtar Shah, since he has been at the crease, 2 4s and a 6. Can he give us a cameo at the end to bring his team within a range of that victory? What he's certainly doing is denting the net run rate of the Clarion Eagles. And all those factors will come into play. As you see a shot there of Stephen Taylor and Aaron Jones just having completed their game on field 1, having a friendly chat. Two very senior members of the United States of America's cricket team. And it's good to see all of the camaraderie on display on and off the field of play. 17 completed, 138 for 8. Harmeet Singh has the ball in hand, got 3 wickets in his last over, and in fact the last 2 deliveries were wickets. So by all accounts, he's on a hat-trick. In the air, a fielder is getting under it, almost chops it, he juggles it, and he takes it comfortably in the end.
The last part of a juggle was a bit of a play acting from Saif Badr. Initially the ball popped out of his hand, and then on the second attempt he was able to grab it.
And that's a hat-trick for Harmeet Singh.
Watch this, the first bobble is a genuine one. He really, that ball got out of his hand here too, but from now on he's in complete control, and that last one is just a bit of a play acting from Saif Badr. Good value for the hat-trick, Harmeet Singh. You cannot keep that man out of the action.
Definitely can't, and you would not tell it was a hat-trick based on the laboured celebration. In fact, there were no celebrations from the teammates around, just a couple soft rounds of applause. But I think at this stage we will be more looking to just close off this game and then celebrate the individual glories thereafter.
Ahsan Adil, the last man in. The way he blocked that one, probably will be in for a long 2.4 overs. Not to be.
I think he heard you, Shad. He had a point to prove.
Everyone else has moved around in the grounds that are adjacent to us. In fact, the teams have started to arrive for the afternoon games.
Swatted away on the leg side just for a single. Good feeding attempt there from Savage. Nice pick up and throw all in one. Smooth movement. Harmeet Singh has the potential to get a 5-er. Oh, and flicks off the inside edge down to that fine leg area. Fielder comes around from backward square and restrict them just to 1. So he has 1 more delivery to get a 5-wicket haul. What do you think is going to happen on this ball?
Well, I don't know what's going to happen, but I can tell you that Akhtar Shah is not going to hold back. I have a feeling, I may be wrong, but let's see. My gut feeling is he's going to go after that. He did! And it went right up in the air and taken. That's the 5 for Harmeet Singh. And he's just given away 21 runs. And this is victory for Clarion Eagles.
Excellent spell from Harmeet Singh. He came into the attack at such a late stage of the innings, and we were wondering why. But you can see how important his bowling is for the Clarion Eagles. A 5-wicket haul for Harmeet Singh, 5 for 21 in his 4 overs, and leading his team to victory. Excellent bowling effort from Harmeet and from the Clarion Eagles, as well as supported by the fielders who did a magnificent effort, throwing their bodies all around the ground, taking their catches, preventing the boundaries, and really and truly it has been a complete victory. Clarion Eagles won by 59 runs. Just to briefly take you through the highlights of the game for the Clarion Eagles, the top scorer Mohammed Mohsin, 53 from 26, then Erasmus, 40 from 21, and Dilpreet Singh, 36 from 18, as well as the captain Akadashit Gomel, 32 from 26. The pick of the bowlers for the Kingsman X in that first innings, Hassan Mohsin, 3 for 44. And also in terms of the Kingsman X innings, top score of 37 from Awais Zia, and then 2 scores of 27 from Nkrumah Bonner and Osama Bal, and barring that, followed by 3 zeros, notably Harmeet Singh in that 5-wicket haul, getting a hat-trick, not your conventional hat-trick as in he bowled, got 2 wickets on the final 2 deliveries of one of his overs, and then a wicket on the first delivery of the same over. So really and truly an amazing performance from the Clarion Eagles all round, and just goes to show you how important it is. Dilpreet Singh as well, picking up 2 wickets in 1 over for 2 runs. Shah, what a game we have witnessed here.
Well, the way it started, it looked very difficult for the batters, but then it got gradually easier. And before we sign off for this broadcast, Clarion Eagles has topped Group C, but they will be behind on net run rate with Atlanta Fire in terms of overall seedings. So there is still that second place up for grabs for the direct qualification for the semi-final, which will be decided this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed our coverage, and we look forward to your company for the second game of the afternoon in just about 15 minutes.